Your Northern Arizona Wranglers get the win 74-68 over the San Antonio Gunslingers to improve to 8-4 on the season and leapfrogging into third place in the Western Conference behind an offensive explosion in the fourth quarter, Ed.
Yeah, 30 points the Wranglers scored in the fourth quarter. They were down 9, 53-44 going into the fourth quarter, James and folks. And then, as you mentioned, the offense just went off. And just an incredible explosion, setting team records in yardage, points, and touchdowns in this game. JP, what a fantastic game it was for you and I to call and for the fans to witness. It definitely had a playoff atmosphere, didn't it?
It did indeed. It was just one of those games that was so much fun for the fans. They were really into it. The crowd was loud as I think we've ever heard it inside the Findlay Toyota Center. And how about the offense? Josh Jones, 19 of 25 for 222 yards and 6 touchdowns. All importantly, no interceptions. Oh, by the way, JJ also running for 2 touchdowns on the ground as well, among other offensive performers on Sunday for the Wranglers.
96 yards rushing for number 12. We see him right there. What a great performance by Josh. As you mentioned, 0 interceptions is probably one of the most impressive and incredible things as he throws a touchdown, one of 4 touchdowns to John Maldonado, the league's second leading receiver. And, of course, Axel Perez, 7 drop kicks on Sunday, JP. This team needed every one of those 14 points to get this victory over San Antonio because both of these teams were gunning for a playoff spot. And again, it had a playoff type feel to it. And my goodness, was that a great game.
I mean, let's face it, Ed, every game from here on out, it's already playoffs for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. You mentioned Axel Perez. That's 2 touchdowns worth of points provided by our kicker. So huge stuff there for number 24. And not only did the offense play well, the defense rose up when necessary as well.
Oh, they did. You saw Shamar Moreland with an incredible pick 6. Oh, there it is right there, right on cue. Shamar, and you called it, JP, in the break that Shamar was going to take that back to the house. I don't think I've ever heard the FTC as loud as it was when he picked that ball up 26 and he took that back to the house. What an incredible moment for him and this franchise.
It really was an outstanding play there, and we take another look at it right here. An athletic play as well. As you see, he got up high to get that football, jumped that pass right there, and was able to take it to the house. And that was really the turning point in that second half because this game was back and forth all night long, and we knew something was going to have to give and something was going to have to turn the tide, and that Shamar Moreland pick 6 was exactly what the doctor ordered.
And JP, that's what we talked the entire broadcast. At some point, these are two of the top offenses in the league, and eventually one of these defenses is would have to make a stop. And that's what they did right there when Shamar picked off Sam Castronova and he took it back to the house. And of course, you know, at the end with 37 seconds left to go, Castronova was going to take his guys down the field. You and I were just we had our hearts in our throats as well as everybody in the FCC, knowing he had the ball at the 25-yard line, JP. And we're just like, oh my gosh, Sam, you cannot do this to us right now. You cannot go down the field and tie this game and potentially take the lead. But what a phenomenal second half. The defense buckled down when they needed to. And Tremont Lofton, there it is right there, that 4th and 3, that sealed the victory. Shamar Moreland also in that great coverage of Naquan Murray. But back to Tremont Lofton, 2 big blocks on special teams. How big was he, JP?
He was absolutely huge, Tremont Lofton, on Sunday, and another big reason why the Wranglers were able to escape with a victory over the San Antonio Gunslingers. Another outstanding performer, John Maldonado, moves into second place in receiving yards in the IFL. What a season number 11 is having for the Wranglers.
Yeah, JP, on Sunday against San Antonio, 8 catches for 112 yards. Oh, and by the way, half of those catches were for touchdowns. So I love that ratio, catch to touchdown ratio.
You got to.
Maldonado, 685 yards receiving, just second to Naquan Murray of this taping, and 18 touchdowns for John. What a great season number 11 is having. And him and Josh Jones, they are making beautiful music offensively together.
They are indeed a number of special players on this Northern Arizona Wranglers roster, and they're going to have to continue to be special over the next couple of weeks as we're hosting the San Diego Strike Force this coming Saturday inside the Findlay Toyota Center. That's a huge game as well to solidify a playoff spot for the Wranglers.
Yeah, because they're tied with Arizona for that 4th playoff spot, so they're just a half game behind the Northern Arizona Wranglers, as you mentioned, who leaped over San Diego, and Arizona to get to number 3 with that huge victory. So as you mentioned, there are no more easy games. There's been no easy games all season, but this is going to be a tough one. The following week in San Jose against the champions is going to be a tough one. The week after that against Vegas is going to be a tough one up at the FTC. And of course, Duke City, do not sleep on Duke City. Even though their record is not what they want it to be, that's a really good football team. Despite their record, they had the champions on the ropes as well a week ago and almost beat them at home. So I wouldn't even take Duke City for granted. So every single game from here on out is going to be must win for Northern Arizona as they want to stay in that playoff spotting that they are right now at number 3.
A lot of teams still in the hunt, especially in the Western Conference with just a few weeks left in the regular season. We mentioned it. Get your tickets to join us this Saturday night inside the Finland Toyota Center against the San Diego Strike Force. It'll be a 6:05 kickoff, and that's going to be the exciting one inside the barn.
Oh, yeah. Nate Davis is coming in. Keyshawn Walker, he's coming back in town. I just texted him on IG, him and Connor Mangan. They're excited about coming back to the FTC, but I don't want them to be too excited. We don't want them to come in too excited and think they're going to come away with a victory, even though those are our brothers. But still, we don't want them to come victorious on Saturday. But it's going to be a great game, another playoff atmosphere. I'm definitely sure about that.
And we're going to have a couple of those San Diego Strike Force members mic'd up as well. You mentioned Nate Davis, and then former Northern Arizona Wrangler Keyshawn Walker will also be wearing a mic on Saturday night. So we're trying to give you that full immersive experience inside the Finley Toyota Center. Make sure you join us 6:05 p.m. kickoff. We'll be on the air with the Wranglers countdown to kickoff at 5:30 p.m. on the IFL Digital Network and Caffeine TV. And as we always say, Ed, go Wranglers.